and you become a member in order to participate with me and to see my live in the Rise, okay? So becoming a member is important to get to see my videos, especially what's up and coming this summer. And it's part of my fundraising efforts. So part of that fundraising effort is to fundraise, and part of that is to find different ways to do that. And this is one of the ways, is to go link with Patreon and get membership, okay? Membership. And these members are going to eventually become members. They're early risers. They're the risers. They're my risers. You become risers because this is live in the Rise. So you become risers. And as risers, you rise early, you go to rest early, you get work done early, you prepare meals early. You, as a riser, you do these things in preparation for your day. You look at the word, you chant a word, you express the word that's in Hebrews. So the powerful word that sustains all things through this powerful word is the righteousness of all righteous. So I love that. I love the fact that we can have a platform that we can share the word in this way. So let me get a brighter screen. Here we go. Okay. My screen was on a light screen there, but I have, for those of you just joining, we are live on Patreon, and Patreon is the site you go to in order to see my videos, okay? So we just finished with the verse of the day. Verse of the day, Hebrews. And the theme today is about righteousness is strength, is a strength and a shield. And Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3 tells us how that is a strength and a shield, because it speaks of that sun as the radiance, and it's a representation of the being of righteousness, and that sustains all things. All things are sustained through this one. It's sustained through this one righteousness of all righteous. We have fallen short of the glory, so that's why I say we're not perfect. We are looking to perfection, and that perfection is in the higher righteousness, taking the higher road, right? So that is our verse of the day. Woohoo! Let's get now to our word of the day. Okay, what is this one? The word of the day. It's 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 the word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day today is prosperity. Prosperity. Who wants some? It's being brought to us today by Psalm 37 verse 1. And Psalm 37 verse 1 says, take delight in doing right, and that right will give you the right desires of your heart. Because our heart may want these things, may not be good, right? So when you take delight in right, it gives you the desires of your heart. The right ones, not desires of the flesh. It's not talking about desires of the flesh. It's talking about desires of the heart. So we take delight in that. We take delight in that. So that word of the day, prosperity. I am rich in righteous truth. So with the theme today, righteousness is a strength and a shield. With that, with that, the word of the day, prosperity. So when you hold righteousness as a strength and as a shield, you're going to be prosperous. You're going to be prosperous. Bottom line, you're going to be prosperous. So prosperity as so much more than all I have or hope to get. Okay? All I have or hope to get. Prosperity is a deep knowledge that the world is full of abundance, and that abundance is mine to claim and enjoy. Okay? That's like I told my son this rise. I was like, look, you got talent, man, and you know, it's like, whoa. I could be in a gated in a gated mansion. that's how you know. But with that comes a lot of responsibility. So in order for that to manifest itself, you got to be able to handle the little things so you can be able to get to the big thing. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to claim that abundance is mine to claim and enjoy. When I live steeped in that awareness, I am no longer disturbed by troubling news about the shifting fortunes of the world. Of course, I do what I must to protect my assets and provide for myself and my family, but I keep the cares and concerns of the world in proper perspective. Okay, the world is going into a recession. It's going into a downfall. Babylon has fallen. So my first prosperity rests in awareness of the presence and power and truth of righteousness. That is, as a divine being, I am heir to everything righteousness is. That's your inheritance. You are heir to that. You know, you are heir to the righteousness. You are heir to the goodness. You are going to reap that once you sow that. You know, those who sow in tears will reap in joy, according to Steel Pulse, Chanta Samade. Yeah. So in that prosperity, you know, you are a divine being, and your thoughts and feelings have creative power that you use to affirm your prosperity. Okay. Release all notions of how your good will come to you, and open yourself to synchronicity. I am prosperous. Okay. That is the word today. I am prosperous. Prosperity. And yeah, we give thanks for that word. Prosperity. Brought to us today by Psalm 37, verse 4. I love it. Okay, let's go. Keep going with the theme. Remember what the theme is? Righteousness is a strength and a shield, right? So let's look at daily communication to righteousness for women. Daily communication. Daily communication. Daily communication to righteousness for women. For women. Daily communication to righteousness for women. For women. Okay, daily communication to righteousness for women. If you're a woman, or you know one, or you have a mom, and you know a mom, today is what? Wednesday the 9th. What does it say? It's something in Canada they're celebrating, but today is 129 days. Today's the 9th of April. It's 129 days to the 365 days of communication to righteousness for women. So with that, we have, let me get my reading light. With that, day 129 is we are one in righteousness. So yeah, the theme today is See how it just flows? I don't make this up every day. I just go with the flow of righteousness. And this theme today of righteousness as a strength and a shield peels over to the daily communication to righteousness for women. That is, we are one in that. We are one with the goodness. We are one with righteousness. And it's brought to us by Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. I love me some Galatians, okay? Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. Drop it on folks when they talk about race, they talk about class, they talk about, gender and all that stuff. Drop this one. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male nor female. For you are all one in Christ Jesus. And what is Christ Jesus? We're talking about righteousness. You are one with that goodness and mercy and that loving, forgiving, compassion, comforter, redeemer. You're one with that. That's risen. That's why we are alive in the rise. We in that risen space of the most righteous of righteous that sits on a throne that's called the King of Kings, that's called the Lord of Lords, that's the conquering Ambesa of the tribe of Judah, that's elect of him and herself, because according to Galatians, there is no male or female. For everyone is one in that righteousness. That's what you share. Frederick Douglass said that we share a humanity, and that's how we are to be looked at, in a shared humanity. So the communication to righteousness for women, righteousness, with so much division in the world these days, isn't that happening these days? Give me strength to remember that all of I and I belong to you. All of I and I are the children of goodness, right? Let I and I embrace all your children, even the ones who call and leave a vicious voicemail, even the ones who rude, disrespectful, violent, even those are your children. And let I and I embrace all of these children, as a family. Selah and Selah again. That was daily communication to righteousness for women. That was, oh my gosh, that just set the tone for our psalm today. And our Psalm 28 is about the theme, righteousness is strength and a shield. And that is the theme. And within that, we have about 9 verses. Today is April 9th. And we have 9 verses for our psalm today. And our psalm today is brought to us by none other than Steel Pulse. Steel Pulse chant a psalm a day. I also have my Live in the Rise. Let me see, where is that? I think it's this. Oh no, that's story time. You can check out story time as well, but story time is there too. Yep. I have a lot of different recordings, but you gotta go on to Patreon and become a member in order to see it. You gotta become a member. It's the word. So remember the word of the day, prosperity. Now the psalm of the day, we're going to chant the psalm a day. The psalm of the day is 28, and it begins with righteousness is who I and I call. To righteousness I call. Righteousness is a rock and is not deaf to my call. or I'll be, when righteousness is silent and don't answer, I become as those that go down to the pit, like hot fire. So, in other words, righteousness is going to hear, is going to listen to your sound, to your words, to your communication. I just read there for women. So, verse 2, listen to the voice. This is what righteousness is going to listen to, the voice of pleas for mercy. When I cry to righteousness for strength, when I lift up my hands toward the most sacred of sacred places. Righteousness is not going to drag I off with wrongness, with the workers of evil. I'm not going to be around folks that are that way. I may have to be alone. Anyway, alone meaning not around humans, beings that are not embracing their humanity, but embracing their gender or their sex or their sexual identities, or they're embracing other things that are just superficial, that are just part of humanity, but not the real humanity of what's inside of you. And that is righteousness. So I don't want to be dragged off with those that speak love and then hate is in their heart. So I want them to be given according to their work. They're going to be given what they give. They're going to get what they give. And according to whatever work deeds they're doing, they're going to get. And whatever work in their hands, they're going to get. They're going to get their due reward, in other words. So because they're going to get back what they give, when you give good, you're going to get that. So righteousness is not going to regard them because they don't regard righteousness or the work of righteousness. Righteousness is going to tear them down, and they're not going to be built up anymore into wrongness. They will be resurrected as Christ into righteousness only. So blessed be righteousness, for righteousness has listened to the voice of my pleas for mercy. And righteousness is my strength and my shield, and in righteousness my heart trusts, and I am given strength. My heart exalts, and with my song I give thanks to righteousness. So righteousness is the strength of the people, of righteous people. People who are righteous, that's their strength. Their strength is righteousness. They may call it Jesus. They may call it Lord. They may call it God. They may call it, Jesus. They may call it Jehovah. Whatever they call it, that is the strength of who they're calling. So that is the shield, and that is the strength, and that is where the heart must trust, and where you are strengthened, and where your whole heart must exalt. You must exalt in doing the right thing. And with your song, you give thanks to that right thing, right? So the strength of righteousness of the people is of the people, and that saving refuge of the anointed of righteousness. So righteousness will save righteous people and bless the righteous inheritance, and is going to be a shepherd and carry the righteous for all time to come. So no matter what comes your way, you're going to be safe. You're going to be humbled in the goodness of righteousness. So that is all I got today, except we have a Bible challenge. And in that Bible challenge, we are reading Selah and Selah. This has been Psalm 28. Righteousness is a strength and shield. I love it. I love that. We're looking at 2 Kings. So April 8th, yesterday, was the beginning of Second Kings, where we looked at, though you may ask God to do something for you, God generally wants to do something in you. So when people pray to God for this and that, for things outside of themselves, they may not get it, because what God is giving you is something inside of yourself that can sustain you to achieve the things you are asking for from God. So it's important to be in the presence. And those of you who are in the book of Second Kings, Elijah and Elisha, okay, were walking along and talking together. Suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them. And Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. So Elijah and Elisha, you got to read about them. This is powerful. We're in the book of Second Kings, everyone. And today, for April 9th, we're in Second Kings chapter 4 to 8. It is not the darkness that blocks your vision so much as what is between you and God, what is between you and righteousness. So it's not the darkness, it's not the depression, it's not the sadness, it's not feeling lonely that blocks your vision so much as what is between you and the righteousness, you and doing good, you and giving thanks, you and being humble, right? You and having mercy and compassion, you and being honest and having integrity. So in the book of Second Kings, we have Elisha and the Shunammite woman. We have Elisha and the Aramean commander, and we have Elisha and the Aramean king. So we have provision, purification, and protection. So we look at the widow's olive oil, interesting. We look at feeding of 100. In chapter 5, we have Naaman, he's healed of leprosy. Elijah traps blinded Arameans. There's a famine in Samaria. And then we see the siege is lifted, the Shumites' land is restored. So we have in Second Kings this story of going from here, then it's climax, then it's coming to a crescendo. And how do we relate this to our own lives and how we are dealing with people in our lives is an important part of being in the presence. So that is April 9th, the Bible challenge. We have the communication to righteousness. We have our psalm. We have our verse of the day, our word of the day. Thank you so much for joining Live in the Rise. Have a blessed day, everyone. And remember, stand in love. Don't what? Fall in it. So this has been Live in the Rise. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Let me get, yep, here it is. Rise up. Take good care, everybody. Rise up. Rise up. Rise up. Let me get some risers. I need my risers. Who's going to become a riser? Become a member. See you later. Take good care. Remember, Chantasama Day. Keep what away? Yes, we want positivity all day. Take good care, everyone. Remember, stand in love. Don't fall in it. See you next time. Live in the Rise.